Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Strife's Sanctum podcast. My name is Citizen Strife, and this week, continuing on with Mega Man 3. Now, coming off of Mega Man 2, this one's a bit wonky. I remember reading up on reports that some of the stuff was erased. Some of the things that they were going to do, some of the powers, some of the stages, very glitch heavy, very frustrating to get through, to be honest, because some stages are just not up to standard, but still better than one in most cases. There's still some good things to like about 3, but while I'm listing them and while I'm going through it, there's definitely going to be a bit of a drop from 2 to 3. But we'll go about it the same way we did it last week and go through each of the stages. So what really changes from 3 to 2? The inclusion of Proto Man, who is known as Break Man, before you figure that out. And then the addition of Rush instead of the items. So Rush Coil, Rush Jet, Rush Marine to bounce up, go around thing, or to cross pits. Rush is great. Other than that, though, there's the slide mechanic, which is cool. Not as fun as the dash boots from X, but hey, a slide is nice, and it gets you a little bit extra stuff to do. Overall, I think the package is a little bit weaker. I think the music, by and large, is not my favorite. There are a couple of songs that are good as their own songs, but also don't seem to fit the theme, and I'll go over one specific one. The Dr. Wily themes are still good. That's the big thing. The Dr. Wily Stage 1 and Stage 2 are distinct enough and cool enough that they feel really cool and interesting and fun. I couldn't find myself, gravitating to songs, though. I wasn't, at least with 2, I could remember stuff. I don't know, it just seemed like a lot of it was piano-based, wasn't really heavy or unique until you get to the Dr. Wily stages, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not feeling this soundtrack a whole bunch. But I don't think Mega Man is so bad, though. It's like if you played Mega Man 1 and 2, you know what you're getting. But as a package, you still have to weigh it over what you have. So, what do we have as Dr. Wily robots? Because let's face it, it's Dr. Wily is still the main villain, because of course he is. They've been trying to hide it, but it's Dr. Wily. But we'll start with Top Man, and this was the one where apparently their stage was different and all that. It looked like a bunch of solar panels and a greenhouse effect, or like an electric panel, but a bunch of leaves for the backdrop in these glass cases. It didn't look like a top. It didn't look like a carnival. It didn't look like a toy. Unlike, say, something like Spring Man later or Bounce Man. I say Bounce Man is a cool stage. I can't wait to get to Mega Man 11. That'd be great. But it didn't feel like Top Man felt like anything. It was just a stage. And Top Man himself, I guess his attacks were different. He has an Airman style shooting thing with his tops, but then he, spins on the floor. He's not all that impressive. You hit him with hard knuckle or needle cannon or top spin, or just shoot him and he's done. Top spin is... But turns out top spin is actually really heavily damaging, which is kind of intriguing. We've got Shadow Man, and this is the song that I felt didn't fit. It's kind of a bluesy, upbeat rock theme in this steel mill, steel molten whatever. There's a lot of molten red crap in the stage. A couple of lights out mechanics. These things turn lights off, but you're not oh, I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna whatever. It's not like Spark Mandrill stage from X. So it's not all as threatening. I guess that's the shadow part, but the song really doesn't fit the Shadow Man theme and like ninja theme. Because I know like some stages later on have like Nightman and Tomahawk Man, and even like one of Dr. Wily's stages is a Japanese themed castle. But Shadow Man and his stage are just, nothing really fits the theme, unfortunately. But you get to Shadow Man, he throws shurikens, and he jumps around, and you beat him with topspin and other weapons. Shadow Blade is Metal Blade, if worse. Spark Man, not much to this stage. A bit of spike mechanics. The factory with these, like, moving spike, like electric currents that are going around through it. And some even reach through ladders for some reason. Like you're trying to climb a ladder and it just reaches through and it'll hit Mega Man while you're climbing, which is dumb. But you're trying to avoid these electric barriers over these pits. That's kind of what I remember. Sparkman does spark shocks, jumps, but you hit him with Shadow Blade and he's a joke. You get spark shock, not shot, and then you go to Magnet Man, and Magnet Man has a few cool ideas. The stage itself doesn't look all that cool, but you get the Yoku blocks, the whoop, whoop, whoop. Gotta get those in. Fucking Yoku blocks, I swear. The main thing with the stage is these enemies that fly around and use magnets and hold Mega Man in place. There's also these turbines that could pull you in and suck you into spikes sometimes, or catch you off the Yoku blocks and make you fall into pit. That's terrifying and terrible. I don't like it. But you do Magnet Man, he does magnet missiles, and he also has like a dual shield kind of thing, like the magnetic force, you can't get through it, and he avoids damage. So he's a bit of a dick. But if you hit him with Spark Shock and other things, you can get the magnet missiles. Next is Hard Man, and unfortunately, it's another mine level. After you go through Armored Armadillo and the coolness of like the ending with the dudes, or even the burp, burp, burp guy trying to chase you, no minecart level is ever interesting ever again. And they love their minecart levels, and they love their construction site levels, and it's just kind of there. If it sounds like I'm not enthusiastic, it's mostly just because I've seen these kinds of levels, and there's not much you can do to make them interesting anymore. And Hardman, at least he jumps, but he jumps and keeps you suspended in the air or stuck in place. So at least he's trying to hurt you, and he hits you with Hard Knuckle, but you hit him with Magnet Missile, and he's done, and you get Hard Knuckle yourself. And that Hard Knuckle apparently is what you get when you jerk off. I don't know. This is totally not a kid's podcast, but whatever. I said the joke. Anyway, Snake Man. This is the interesting. This is the one anybody's gonna remember from this entire playthrough is Snake Man, because it's snake. It's a snake level. Because everything looks like a snake. Everything has got weird snake scales, and it's all green and shit. It's like the environment is just, it looks like a snake. The enemies are snakes. You get the giant snake heads that are shooting balls at you. For some reason, near the end of the stage, it becomes an air platforming section, almost like Airman, but whatever. I guess you got to have a platforming section, but everything else until then is just a snake level. But Snake, he throws snakes at you. You shoot him, he's dead. You get the snakes. You go to Gemini Man, and his stage is twofold. You do like Crystal Pillars, kind of Flashman, kind of blue crap stage on a moon, and then you go inside what looks like cells. Because it's Gemini Man. He's DNA, I guess. You shoot a bunch of things, and it becomes sperm. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like tadpoles, but they're sperm, but they're cells. Naughty language. Yes. Gemini Man, he splits into two, and he shoots you. You do half damage. His second form runs out, but he is shooting the Gemini laser, which kind of bounces around it's like a slowdown. It's weird. Like, it bounces off the thing, and it slows down the game. not by choice. It's more that it's messing up with the frame rate of the game because they couldn't program it right. So it's a slow moving bouncy laser. But you beat him with the snakes, and you get through that, and you get to Needleman, which is a construction site with a little bit of platforming and a little bit of spikes. Nothing fancy, nothing great. Needles, just shoot it with lasers and it's done. The addition to this game that really frustrates me because get to the Robot Masters, get to the Dr. Wily stages or the Sigma stages. It's routine. Just stick with it. But no, they extended the game by doing something called the mystery bosses, the mystery robot masters, the question mark bosses. And essentially what they amount to are 8 variations, I believe, of older bosses from 1 and 2. So you do like half the stage, if not the entire stage, of like Shadow Man or something again. And you fight different robot masters with newer weapons, essentially. But whatever, it's done. You find out Dr. Wily is a bad guy. Oh, goody. But yeah, I was just checking the time, sorry. But yes, Dr. Wily Stage 1. This one, unlike Dr. Wily Stage 2, which is an outer level, this is kind of an underground sewer level. So you're fighting a thing that makes turtles. It's called Kamegoro Maker. And it's weird because it's got like these it's like the Pico Pico stage, but it's underwater. The Pico Pico boss fight from 2, but the water jets don't hurt you, and it's the turtles that do. There's no like lasers, it's just a fast moving turtle. But you beat the turtles and the thing blows up, I guess. Dr. Wily Stage 2, vertical stage with platforms and spike pits and stuff. There are these things in a couple of stages that, like, if you walk past them, they rise up and try to bite you like a gator face or something. You get through it, and you face the Yellow Devil, and he acts just like he did in the first game, except he does the bouncy thing. So he does the one thing, he disappears into parts, and he goes across the stage, and you hit him in the eye. You can't use the glitch like you did in Mega Man 1, but then he also adds in the bouncy thing. I've seen this in other Mega Man games. He dissipates into the floor and starts bouncing. So you add that into the fun. And the Yellow Devil's just... But yes, you can beat the Yellow Devil with the Hard Knuckle or the Shadow Blade, and then get to Dr. Wily Stage 3. There's not much to this one except a part in the level where you go through horizontal platforms, and the horizontal platforms hit spikes. Oh, goody. I love me some spike walls. At least it's not an underwater level with spikes like in 2. So there's that. At least you can see the spikes as you're going. You beat some Mega Man fakes with top spin. And then you get to the boss rush, and it's another boss rush. Oh boy. But you get to Dr. Wily himself, and his thing is he crosses the screen with this giant poker stick pod thing. So the feet are giant spikes, and they're trying to dig into you and shoot you, and he's also shooting you with some like circular attack or something. But you hit him with a couple of different weapons, and then he escapes because Dr. Wily always escapes. And then you get to Gamma, which is this giant robot. You shoot it, and you shoot it, and you shoot it, and then Dr. Wily's pod takes control, and it's got an instant death punch. But if you're able to rush coil onto the top of the thing, you avoid it, and then you hit him with like top spin and other things to try and kill him. And then it happens. You win, and Mega Man is fun. Again, if it sounds like I'm dismissive, it's because I kind of am. It's not because it's a bad game. It's just they lost a lot of data, and they kind of just lost, a lot of like intrigue. I think it's like 2 and 4 are the ones that are considered the great ones, and then everything else is just, it's a Mega Man game. But by and large, it's still a Mega Man game. So if you like playing Mega Man games, you're probably going to like this. It's just not all that interesting when you look at it. So it's not my first choice. It's not my last choice. It's not Mega Man 8. It's not Mega Man X8 or X7. Well, not X8, but X7. It's not as bad as those. It's a Mega Man game. Mega Man 5, Mega Man 6, you're getting what you're getting, and it's just another Mega Man, but a little shoddier produced, because I think they were trying to make it, and they lost some of their time to make a game, because they're trying to make a game every year, and games are harder to make the more you make them, and the more the budgets go up, so whatever. Is it the worst? Nah. But if you're given a choice, I would skip this one. But that'll do for Mega Man 3, and then we're going to switch it off, and we're actually going to lose my voice for a second. Sorry. But we're going to finish Mega Man Mark II. Mega Man Mark II. We'll go! With Mega Man X3 and Mega Man 0. So, we'll do that. I also have planned lots of stuff. I've moved Speed Grapher because I did a podcast with Lee about Fruits Basket, and it was an extensive review. But after Mega Man 0 is the Apothecary Diaries and Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Those 2 episodes will be about seasons 1 of 2 of probably like my favorite shows of all time. I mean, holy crap, they're very good. Apothecary, I'm gonna have to shut up about Mau Mau for 5 seconds because I'm not gonna stop. But yeah, June 15th, Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, the Final Fantasy rhythm game. Hooray! And this one's interesting. June 22nd is the fishing minigames in JRPGs. Breath of Fire 3, Nier, Tales of Arise, Final Fantasy 15, Geese 8. I'm not going to be able to go through every single game that's ever had a fishing minigame ever. I'm just not, right? Some of them are just like Yakuza, where you hold a stick, you press a button, Persona 4, same thing. It's got its own minigame and its own crazy sets, but it's a kind of a universal idea of a minigame. Go fishing. Get a thing, get some items, do some more things, have some fun, or get frustrated, depending on how it is. But, fishing minigames in JRPGs are definitely a thing. And then I put the Speed Grapher episode. It's already been recorded because I was going to put it up this week, but then the Fruits Basket thing came up. So that's going to be at the end of June. So we're coming up near to the 3rd year of this, which is cool, But hey, that'll do for me. And this was Mega Man 3. So I'll see you next time. Citizen Strife, signing off.